श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। नमो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरह कातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतां तमोऽन्धं संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां। योगीन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै शुकाय ब्रह्मरूपिणे संसार सर्पदष्टं यो विष्णुरातममुमुचत कालव्यालमुखग्रास त्रास निर्नाशहेतवे श्रीमद्भागवतं शास्त्रं कलोकीरेण भाषितम् एतस्मादपरं किञ्चित् मनःशुद्ध्येन विद्यते जन्मान्तरे भवेत् पुण्यं तदा भागवतं लभेत् ज्ञानवैराग्यसम्पूर्णान् हरिभक्तिपरायणान् पूर्वाचार्यातहं वन्दे सम्प्रदायप्रवर्तकान् भगवन्नाम साम्राज्य लक्ष्मी सर्वस्व विग्रहं श्रीमद्बोधेन्द्र योगीन्द्र देशिकेन्द्रम् उपास्महे। कलिकालोचितं धर्मं नाम संकीर्तनात्मकं निर्णेतुमवतीर्णं तं प्रेमिकं सद्गुरुं भजे। हरे रामेति कृष्णेति नाम संकीर्तनं सदा लोकक्षेमाय कुर्वन्तं प्रेमिकं सद्गुरुं भजे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयात् इतरतश्चार्तेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदम् तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषिभिस्तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्षः कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ मुक्त्यर्थं भवसागरे। मनोरथो मदीयोऽयं सफलः सर्वथा त्वया निर्विघ्नेनैव कर्तव्यो दासोऽहं तव केशव। श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः। गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Just give me 1 second. Third, yeah. Third. Sorry, my mother is sitting here. She wanted to know which chapter. Okay, so we'll review 3.17 and then 6 stanzas of 18, right? So about 37 stanzas, so about 18 each. Let me just see who I had. Madhu, can you do one half? And Sindhuji, can you do one half? So you can do one of you can do 1 to 18 of 17 chapter.
Sindhuji, you want to go first or?
Sure, I can do.
Okay.
श्रीमद्भागवते तृतीयस्कन्धे अध सप्तदशोऽध्यायः। मैत्रेय उवाच निशम्मात्म्यभुवा गीतं कारणं शङ्कयोज्जिताः ततः सर्वे न्यवर्तन्त तृदिवाय दिवौकसः दिदिस्तु भर्तुरादेशाद् अपत्यपरिशङ्गिनी पूर्णे वर्षशदे साध्वी पुत्रौ प्रसूषुवे यमौ उत्पादा बहवस्तत्र निवेदोज्जायमानयोः दिवि भुव्यन्तरिक्षे च लोकस्योरुभयावहाः सहाजला भुवश्चेलुः दिशः सर्वा प्रजज्जुलुः सोल्काश्चाशनयपेदुः हेदवश्चार्तिहेदवः ववौ वायुः सुदुस्पर्शः हूत्कारा नीरयन्मुहुः उन्मूलयन्नगपदीन् व्याधानीगो रजोध्वजः
That but Vatyani.
उन्मूलयन्नगपदीन् वात्यानीगो रजोध्वजः उद्धसद्धरिद्धम्बोधखडया नष्टभागणे व्योम्नि प्रविष्टतमसा न स्म व्यादृश्यते पदम् शुक्रोशविमनावार्धिः उदूर्मिः क्षुभिदोदरः सोदपानाश्च सरिदः चुक्षुभुः शुष्कपङ्कजाः मुहुः परिधयो भूवन् सराहो शशिसूर्ययोः निर्घादा रथनिर्घ्रादाः विवरेभ्यः प्रजज्ञिरे अन्तर्ग्रामेषु मुखदो वमन्द्यो वह्निमुल्बणम् सृगालोलूकडाङ्गारैः प्राणेदुरशिवं शिवाः
Pranedur.
प्रणेदुरशिवं शिवाः सङ्गीतवद्रोदनवदुन्नमय्य शिरोधरां व्यमुञ्जन् विविधावाजो ग्रामसिंहास्ततस्ततः खराश्च कर्कशैः क्षत्तः हुरैर्घ्नन्दोधरादलं खार्काररभसामत्ताः पर्यधावन्वरूदशः रुदन्तो रासभत्रस्ताः नीडादुदपतन् खगाः घोषेरण्ये च पशवः शकृन्मूत्रमगुर्वदा गावोऽत्र सन्नदृद्दोहाः तोयदापूय वर्षिणः वेरुदन् देवलिङ्गानि द्रुमाभेदुर्विनानिलम् ग्रहान् पुण्यतमानन्ये भगणांश्चाभिदीपिताः अधिचेरुर्वक्रगत्या युयुधुश्च परस्परं दृष्ट्वान्यांश्च महोत्पादान् अदतत्त्वविदः प्रजाः ब्रह्मपुत्रा नृदे भीदाः मेनिरे विश्वसम्प्लवम् तावादिदैत्यौ सहसा व्यज्यमानात्मपौरुषौ ववृधादेश्मसारेण कायेनाद्रिपदी इव दिविस्पृशौ हेमकिरीडकोटिभिः निरुद्धकाष्ठौ स्फुरदङ्गदाभुजौ गां कम्पयन्तौ चरणैः पदे पदे कट्यासु गाञ्ज्यार्कमदीत्यतस्तदु तस्तदुः प्रजापतिर्नाम तयोरकार्षीद् यत् प्राक् स्वदेहाद् यमयोरजायत तं वै हिरण्यकशिपुं विदुप्रजाः यन्तं हिरण्याक्षमसूदसाग्रदः
You can stop this.
चक्रैरण्यकशिपुः दोर्भ्यां ब्रह्मवरणे च वशसपाललोकां स्त्रीन् अगतो मृत्युरुद्धतः हिरण्याक्षोऽनुजस्तस्य प्रियप्रीतिकृदन्वगं कदा पाणिर्दिवं यादो युत्सुर्मृगयन् रणं तं वीक्ष्य दुःसहजवं रणत्काञ्चननूपुरं वैजयन्त्या स्रजाजुष्टम् अंसन्यस्तमहागतं मनोवीर्यवरोत्सिक्तम् अशृण्यम् अगुतो भयं पीता निलीरे देवाः दाक्ष्यद्रस्ता युवाहयः स वैद्रोहितान् दृष्ट्वा मगसा स्वेन दैत्यराट् सेन्द्रान् देवगणान् क्षिपान् अपश्यन् व्यनददृशं ततो निवृत्त क्रीडिष्यन् गम्भीरं भीमनिस्वनं विजाकागे सत्वो वार्तिदं मत्त इव द्विपः
second line after the comma, first word, Vardhim
वार्धिं मत्त इव द्विपः तस्मिन् प्रविष्टे वरुणस्य सैनिकाः यादो गणाः सन्नदीयः ससात्वसाः अहन्यमाना अभितस्य वचसा प्रदक्षिता दूरधरं प्रदुद्रुः सवश्यभूतानुदतौ महाबलः शरन्महोर्मीन् स्वसनेरिदान्मुगुः मौर्व्यापि जग्ने कदया विभावरीम् आसेति वांस्तादपुरीं प्रचेतसः तत्रोपलभ्यासुरलोकपालकं यादो गणानां ऋषभं प्रचेतसं स्मयन् प्रलुब्धुं प्रणिपत्य नीशवत् जगादमेदक्यधिराजसंयुगं मेदेग्य
second line, second word, Smayan Pralabdhum. I think you said something
Smayan
else.
Pralabdhum Pranibatya Nishavate Jagadamedekya Dirajam Samyugam, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tvam Logabalo Dibadit Stravaha Virya Bhago Durmada Viramaninam Vijitya Loge Kila Daitya Danavan Yatrajasuyena Puraya Jat Prabhu Sayeva Mutsiktamadena Vidvisha Dridam Pralabdo Bhagavana Bambadihi Rosham Samuddam Shamayan Swayadya Vyachot Ango Vyavochat Ango Bashamam Kada Vayam Pashyami Nanyam Purushat Puradanat Yasam Yuge Tvam Ranamarga Govitam Arada Yishyadya Surar Vishabehitam Manasvinoyam Grinate Bhavadrishaha Tam Viramarad Arada Vibatya Vishmayaha Shayishyase Veerashaye Swabirvridaha Yasvatvidanam Asatam Prashantaye Rubani Datte Sadanagruhechaya Idi Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane Paramahamsyam Samhitayam Tridiya Skande Hiranyaksha Dikvijaye Shaptadashodhyayaga Shri Namaha Shri Namaha Tridiyaskhanda Ashtodashodhyayaga Maitreya Uvacha Tadevamakanya Jalesha Bhashitam Mahamanastad Viganaya Durmataha Arir Viditva Kadimangana Radat Rasadalam Nirvivishe Tvaranvidaha Tadasya Tatra Bijitam Daradaram Proniyamana Vanimak Kradam Shtraya Mushnandam Akshna Swaruchonurshriya Runashriya Jagasa Sago Vinagocharo Mrigaha
Vanagocharo
Mrigaha Aheinam. What is I didn't correct
it.
Aheinam Egyagnamagim Vimunjano Rasaukasam Vishwasrijayam Arpita Nasvasti Yasyasya Nayamamikshataha Suradama Asadita Sukarakrite.
The please, you don't have to separate it. It becomes Suradhama Sadita.
Okay. Suradama Sadita Sukarakrite Tvam nasab Sabatnair Abhavaya Kimbruto Yomaya Handya Suran Parokshajit Tvam Yoga Maya Balamalpa Paurusham Samstabhya Muda Brahmruje Suguruchuchaha Tvayi Samastite Kadaya Shina Shishani Asmat Pujachyutaya Ye Cha Dubhyam Balim Haranti Rishayo ye cha devaha swayam sarvena bhavishyantya mulaha.
The first line, second word, samstite. The is
So he's
is,
samstite.
yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Sadutyamanori duruktato maraihi damstrakragam kam ubalakshya bidam dodam rishan niragatam bumatyat graha hadassa karanur yadepagaha
Karenuryate.
karenur yadepagaha.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just say the meaning, or finish the meaning of 18, and then we'll get into the stanzas. But before we get into the meaning of 18, I think, like, because we are going one class by one class and saying meaning, sometimes it's difficult, you get lost in it a little bit, right? So let me just take a step back. As far as this Varaha Avataram goes, what is the sequence in which we saw things, right? So you get a general idea of where we are and what else is left. So it starts off a little bit with the creation of the Sanat Kumaras. We saw all of those creation happening. And then we saw the creation of the Swayambhuva Manu. And then when Swayambhuva Manu was then ready to start creating, he then said, the place where I have to create, that earth is not there, right? So that was a time when, he goes to Brahma and he prays, saying that I'm ready to create, but earth is not there. That was when from the nostril of Brahma, the small Varaha comes. And then the description of the Varaha avataram happens as to this Varaha comes in this form. Bhagavan takes this incarnation and then rescues and puts the earth back in its orbit. Kind of that conversation happens. So, and in passing, Brahma says that, in passing, it is said that, okay, he also gets rid of Hiranyaksha. So at that time, then the follow, somebody is not on mute. In passing, he says that Hiranyaksha has gotten rid of. So then the natural curiosity comes is, oh, I want to know who is this Hiranyaksha? Why did Varaha have to fight him? So then he goes into the story of the description of Vaikuntham and how the Sanat Kumaras ended up going to Vaikuntham. So that conversation then goes there, and then the conversation they have with Jaya Vijaya and the curse of Jaya Vijaya and then it comes into the birth of Hiranyaksha, and then how Hiranyaksha rules over the entire universe, and then how he goes to Varuna, and then Varuna says, go after Narayana. And then that's kind of how it comes into the 18th chapter, right, of this. So it kind of little bit, it's going in roundabout, but I think we're almost at the end now. So the 18th is going to be the beginning of the battle between Varaha and Hiranyaksha, and 19th is the killing of Hiranyaksha, and then Varaha Avataram comes to an end. And then it's going to go into Kapilopakyanam after that, right? So okay. So the 18th, I'll quickly get through the meaning. So this kind of, like I said, he meets Narada, and Narada then guides them, right, as to where he needs to go. And then when Hiranyaksha goes there, that's when he sees that this Varaha Avataram is happening. And then Bhagavan is coming up with placing the earth. And then there's a conversation that happens between Hiranyaksha and Varaha, where Hiranyaksha says that, you are a Vana Gochara. You are like an animal who has come from the forest. And, all this because it is coming from the Garbhodaka ocean, which is at the very bottom. He says, all these are my region. So you can't just take it away. And this earth also belongs to me. It has to be under my rule, right? That's kind of what he's saying. So at that time, Varaha then goes and places the earth in the right orbit, in the Bhulokam, in that plane, the earth is placed so that civilization can start happening, which is going to happen later. So at least he places that. And then the conversation is happening between Varaha and Hiranyaksha, right? So Varaha says, you can say whatever you want, but I'm not going to get carried away with all of these things. If you want, you can come and battle with me. That's kind of the half pay, or about 10, 11 stanzas of the 18th. So anyway, then there's a battle which is happening, right, between Hiranyaksha and Varaha. And it says, they're beating, Hiranyaksha comes with a gada. But we have to also realize that this is kind of happening at a cosmic level, right? So it is not like they're carrying a small gada like we know of, and then they're fighting like that, right? You have to think of it as it's a big battle that is going on in some way. And this is used as an example of a weapon that people are familiar with, which they are fighting, right? So anyway, so the battle that is actually happening, and then Hiranyaksha comes, and then he beats, tries to beat Varaha. Varaha dodges, and all of that happens, and both of them are trying to fight with each other, and they perform various maneuvers. So there's a small kind of battle that is going on. Nothing is happening. The battle just continues to go on. So at that time, Brahma and everybody, all the demigods also come to witness, because this is a big avataram that is happening. It's a Leela avataram, which is, like I said, it's come for two purposes. One is to establish earth in its right pose. Second is to get rid of Hiranyaksha. So who would not want to see that? So Brahma and all the demigods come to witness what is happening. So Brahma is noticing that this seems to be just going on, right? It is never ending. This battle between them continues to be going on. So Brahma, comes and tells Bhagavan, he prays to Bhagavan, saying that it is not like you don't know, but this Hiranyaksha has been a pain, right? He is going around, he's, troubling everybody. He has taken over all the three worlds. He says, I am the one who gave him the boon also to be this strong. And you know that already, but, he's, being troubled. He's being troubled right now. So he says, there is a particular time by which you don't want to get him there. Now, you have to think of it again. I'll caution saying that for Earth, we have a defined sunrise and we have a defined sunset, right? And there are certain times of the day where there's a lot of positive energy and a lot of positive things can happen. And there are certain times in the day, like we saw in the Sandhi Kalam, which even when Kashyapa and Diti were having the conversation, they said that time is auspicious only for praying and not for doing other things, because a lot of the tamasic nature behavior energy is in the air, right? Now, while Hiranyaksha and Varaha battle is not happening on Earth, you can extrapolate this to the cosmic level also, that there are planetary movements, there are all these things happening. So there are certain times when there is positive energy flowing, and there are certain times where the tamasic energy is very high. So Brahma is saying, that time is approaching where this tamasic energy is going to be high and Hiranyaksha is going to get more powerful. So, he says, we know you can defeat you, Bhagavan. There's no doubt about it. You can get rid of him very easily. So why are you unnecessarily slowing down, right? And please, get rid of it, right? Like for those, since Anandji and all follows cricket, they said Dhoni will continue to play till the last over, right? So he says, why are you waiting till then, get rid of Hiranyaksha now itself? Don't go all the way till the end, because a good time is right now to get rid of Hiranyaksha, where Sattva Guna is very high, and you should be able to get rid of him. So with that, this chapter comes to an end, which is like the prayer of Brahma, saying that the battle has begun between Hiranyaksha and Varaha, but the actual battle and the death of Hiranyaksha is only in the 19th chapter. Okay, all right. So we'll get into this today from stanza 7. So let me see. Aarti, you can be student, and Atte, you can be student.
Sure.
So from stanza 7. Tam nissarantam salilat anudruto, comma, Hiranyakesho dviradam yatha jashah karala damstrosha niniswano bravit. So because there's two S symbols coming there, we're having to say the whole word together. So karala damstrosha niniswano bravid, comma, gata hriyam kim twasatam bigarhitam. Tam nissarantam saliladanudruto Hiranyakesho dviradam yata jhashah Karala damstrosha niniswano bravide Gata hriyam kim twasatam vigarhitam.
Tam nissarantam saliladanudruto Hiranyakesho dviradam yatha jashah Karaladam shroshaninisvano bravit Gata kriyam kim tvasatam vigarhitam.
Tam nissarantam saliladanudruto Hiranyakesho dviradam yatha jashah Karaladam shroshaninisvano bravit Gata hriyam kim tvasatam vigarhitam.
Ta gam udastat salilasya gochare, comma, Vinyasya tasyam, I'm just breaking at that ma, tasyam adadhat swasatvam abhishtuto vishwa srija prasunaihi. So the ra, removing it, putting a visargan, comma, prasunaihi, comma. Next word starts with the a. Apurya mano vibhudhai pashyatorehe. Sagamhudastat salilasya gochare Vinyasya tasyam adadhat swasatvam abhishtuto vishwasrija prasunaihi apuryamano vibudhaih pashyatorehe.
सगामुदस्तात् सलिलस्य गोचरे विन्यस्य तस्याम् अदधात् स्वसत्त्वम् अविष्टुतो विश्वसृजा प्रसूनैः आपूर्यमाणो विबुधैः पश्यतोरेः
सगामदुस्तात् सलिलस्य गोचरे विन्यस्य तस्यामदधात् स्वसत्त्वम् अभीष्टितो विश्वसृजा प्रसूनैः आपूर्यमाणो विबुधैः पश्यतोरेः
परानुशक्तं तपनीयोपकल्पं महागदं काञ्चन चित्रदंशं मर्माण्यभीक्ष्णं प्रतुदन्तं दुरुक्तैः प्रचण्ड मन्युः प्रहसंस्तं बभाषे परानुशक्तं तपनीयोपकल्पं महागदं काञ्चन चित्रदंशं मर्माण्यभीक्ष्णं प्रतुदन्तं दुरुक्तैः प्रचण्डमन्युः प्रहसंस्तं बभाषे
परानुशक्तं तपनीयोपकल्पं महागदं काञ्चन चित्रदंशं मर्माण्यभीक्ष्णं प्रतुदन्तं दुरुक्तैः प्रचण्डमन्युः प्रहसंस्तं बभाषे
परानुशक्तं तपनीयोपकल्पं महागदं काञ्चन चित्रदंशं मर्माण्यभीक्ष्णं प्रतुदन्तं दुरुक्तैः प्रचण्डमन्युः प्रहसंस्तं बभाषे
श्री भगवानुवाच सत्यं वयं भो वनगोचरा मृगाः because we are putting a comma there, add a visarga मृगाः युष्मत् विधान मृगये ग्रामसिंहान् न मृत्युपाशैः प्रतिमुक्तस्य वीराः same thing, add a visarga and comma वीराः विकत्थनं तव गृणन्त्य भद्र, it's like the half ha, so गृह्णन्त्य भद्र गृणन्त्य भद्र, the half ha gets a silent depending on how you say it. So श्री भगवानुवाच सत्यं वयं भोवन गोचरा मृगाः युष्मद्विधान् मृगये ग्रामसिंहान् न मृत्युपाशैः प्रतिमुक्तस्य वीराः विकथनं तव गृणन्त्य भद्र
श्रीभगवानुवाच सत्यं वयं भुवनगोचरा मृगाः युष्मद्विधान् मृगये ग्रामसिंहान् न मृत्युपाशैः प्रतिमुक्तस्य वीराः विकथनं तव गृणन्त्य भद्र
श्री भगवानुवाच सत्यं वयं भुवनगोचरा मृगाः युष्मद्विधान् मृगये ग्रामसिंहान् न मृत्युपाशैः प्रतिमुक्तस्य वीराः विकथनं तव गृणन्त्य भद्र
एते वयं न्यासहरा रसौकसां गतह्रियो गदया द्रावितास्ते तिष्ठामहेतापि कथञ्चिदाजौ स्तेयं क्व यामो बलिनोत्पाद्य बलिनोत्पाद्य वैरम् एते वयं न्यासहरा रसौकसां गतह्रियो गदया द्रावितास्ते तिष्ठामहेतापि कथञ्चिदाजौ स्तेयं क्व यामो बलिनोत्पाद्य वैरम्
एते वयं न्यासहरा रसौकसां गतह्रियो गदया द्रावितास्ते तिष्ठामहेथापि कथञ्चिदाजौ स्थेयं क्व यामो बलिनोत्पाद्य वैरम्
एते वयं न्यासहरा रसौकसां गतह्रियो गदया द्रावितास्ते तिष्ठामहेथापि कथञ्चिदाजौ स्थेयं क्व यामो बलिनोत्पाद्य वैरम्
त्वं भद्रथानां किल यूतपाधिपो घटस्व नोस्वस्तय आश्वनूहः संस्थाप्य चास्मान् प्रमृजाश्रु स्वकानां Yes swam pratignyam natipi partya sabhyah. That's one word, cannot break that word. So natipi partya sabhyah. Tvam padrathanam kila yuthapadhipo घटस्वनो स्वस्तय आश्वनूहः संस्थाप्य चास्मान् प्रमृजाश्रुस्वकानां यस्वां प्रतिज्ञां नातिपिपर्त्य सभ्यः.
त्वं भद्रतानां किल यूथपाधिपो घटस्वनो स्वस्तय आश्वनूहः संस्थाप्य चास्मान् प्रमृजाश्रुस्वकानां यस्वां प्रतिज्ञां नातिपिपर्त्य सभ्यः.
त्वं भद्रथानां किल यूथपादिपो घटस्व नोस्वस्तय आश्वनूहः संस्थाप्य नास्मान् प्रवृजाश्रुस्वकानां यस्त्वां प्रतिज्ञां नातिपिपर्त्य सभ्यः.
And the third line, second word, chasman. Samstapya chasman.
संस्थाप्य चास्मान् प्रमृजाश्रुस्वकानां यस्वां.
Maitreyo vacha sodhikshipto bhagavata, pralabdhascha rusha brisham ajaharolbanam krodham, kridyamano hi radiva. Again, that S symbol is coming, so the whole word is one word. Kridyamano hi radiva. Maitreyo vacha sodhikshipto bhagavata pralabdhascha rusha brisham ajaharolbanam krodham kridyamano hi radiva.
मैत्रेय उवाच सोऽधिक्षिप्तो भगवता प्रलब्धश्चरुषा भृशम् आजहारोल्बणम् क्रोधम् क्रीड्यमानो हिराडिव.
मैत्रेय उवाच सोऽधिक्षिप्तो भगवता प्रलब्धश्च रुषाभृशम् आजहारोल्बणं क्रोधं क्रीड्यमानो हिराडिव.
Srijanna marshita shwasan, after that in shwasan, manyu prachalitendriyah asadya tarasa daityo, gadayabhya hanad harim. So that's gadayabhya hanad is one word, and then harim. It becomes dha because that har, when it comes under the da, it becomes a da, second Sanskrit dha, but you can say it as harim. सृजन्नमर्षितश्वासान् मन्युप्रचलितेन्द्रियः आसाद्य तरसा दैत्यो गदयाभ्यहनद्धरिम्.
सृजन्नमर्षितश्वासान् मन्युः प्रचलितेन्द्रियः आसाद्य तरसा दैत्यो गदयाभ्यहनद्धरिम्.
सृजन्नमर्षितश्वासान् मन्युप्रचलितेन्द्रियः आसाद्य तरसा दैत्यो गदयाभ्याहनद्धरिम्.
भगवांस्तु गदावेगं, विसृष्टं रिपुनोरसि अवञ्चयत् तिरश्चीनो, योगारूढ इवान्तकम्. भगवांस्तु गदावेगं विसृष्टं रिपुनोरसि अवञ्चयत् तिरश्चीनो योगारूढ इवान्तकम्.
भगवांस्तु गदावेगं विसृष्टं रिपुणोरसि अवञ्चयत्तिरश्चीनो योगारूढ इवान्तकम्.
भगवांस्तु गदावेगं विसृष्टं रिपुणोरसि अवञ्चयत्तिरश्चीनो योगारूढ इवान्तकम्.
पुनर्गदां स्वामादाय, भ्रामयन्तम् अभीक्ष्णशः. I'm just breaking at that ma. अभ्यधावत् हरिक्रुद्धः, संरम्भादष्ट दच्छदम्. पुनर्गतां स्वामादाय भ्रामयन्तमभीक्ष्णशः अभ्यधावद्धरिक्रुद्धः संरम्भादष्ट दच्छदम्.
पुनर्गदां स्वामादाय भ्रामयन्तम् अभीक्ष्णशः अभ्यदावदरिः क्रुद्धः संरम्भादष्टदच्छदम्.
And the second line are the u sound, kruddaha.
क्रुद्धः. अभ्यदावदरिः क्रुद्धः संरम्भादष्टदच्छदम्.
गुणर्गदां स्वामादाय भ्रामयन्तमभीक्ष्णशः अभ्यदावत् हरिक्रुद्धः सम्रम्भादष्टदच्छदम्.
Tatascha gadaya ratim, dakshinasyaam bhruvi prabhuhu ajagne satu tam saumya, gadaya kovido hanat. Tatascha gadaya ratim dakshinasyaam bhruvi prabhuhu ajagne satu tam saumya, gadaya kovido hanat.
ततश्च गदया रातिं दक्षिणस्यां भ्रुवि प्रभुः अजग्ने सतुतां सौम्य गदया कोविदोहनत्.
Second line, first word, ajagne.
आजग्ने सतुतां सौम्य गदया कोविदोहनत्.
ततश्च गदया रातिं दक्षिणस्यां भ्रुवि प्रभुः आजघ्ने सतुतां सौम्य गदया कोविदोहनत्.
एवं गदाभ्यां गुर्वीभ्यां, हर्यक्षो हरिरेव च जिगीषयासु samrabdhau. So what we're going to do is the verb that you're seeing there, we're just breaking it. So it becomes susamrabdhau, au, next word starts with the a. Anyonyam abhijagnatuhu. You can break it the ma. Anyonyam abhijagnatuhu. Evam gadabhyam gurvibhyam haryaksho harirev cha jigishayasu samrabdhau anyonyam abhijagnatuhu.
एवं गदाभ्यां गुर्वीभ्यां हर्यक्षो हरिरेव च जिगीषयासु संरब्धौ अन्योन्यम् अभिजग्नतुः.
एवं गदाभ्यां गुर्वीभ्यां हर्यक्षो हरिरेव च जिगीषया सुसंरब्धाः अन्योन्यम् अभिजघ्नतुः.
Tayos sprudhos tigma gada hatangayoho, kshatasrava grana vibruddha manbyoho. So it's a half in half, yeah, manbyoho. Vichitra margams charator jigishaya, vyabhadilayamiva shushminor mridaha. Tayos prudhos tigma gada hatangayoho kshatasravagrana vivruddha manbyoho vichitra margams charator jigishaya vyabhadilayamiva shushminor mridaha.
तयोस्पृधोस्तिग्मगदाहताङ्गयोः क्षताश्रवग्राणविवृद्धमन्व्योः विचित्रमार्गांश्चरतोर्जिगीषया व्यभादिलायामिव शुष्मिणोर्मृधः.
तयोस्पृधोस्तिग्मगदाहताङ्गयोः क्षतास्रवघ्राणविवृद्धमन्व्योः विचित्रमार्गांश्चरतोर्जिगीषया व्यभादिलायामिव शुष्मिणोर्मृधः.
Daityasya yajna vayavasya maya, and then put a plus, grihita varaha tanor mahatmanah kauravya mahyam dvishato vimardanam, So the next one I'm going to break into three parts there. Didrikshur agad rishibhir vrita. So the r I'm breaking it, and then that dr I'm breaking it as well. So didrikshur agat rishibhir vritaswarat. दैत्यस्य यज्ञावयवस्य माया गृहीतवाराहतनोर्महात्मनः कौरव्यमह्यां द्विषतोर्विमर्दनं दिदृक्षुरागादृशिभिर्भृतस्वराट्.
दैत्यस्य यज्ञावयवस्य माया गृहीतवाराहतनोर्महात्मनः कौरव्यमह्यां द्विषतोर्विमर्दनं दिदृक्षुराघातृषिभिर्वृतस्वराट्.
दैत्यस्य यज्ञावयवस्य माया गृहीतवाराहतनोर्महात्मनः कौरव्यमह्यां द्विषदोर्विमर्दनं दिदृक्षुरागात् ऋषिभिर्वृतस्वराट्.
आसन्न शौण्ढीरमपेत, one word, शौण्डीरमपेत साध्वसं, कृत प्रतीकारम aharya vikramam, breaking at that ma, aharya all this breaking is up to you. I'm breaking it only because, like I said, this Bhagavatam, you will never remember like Narayanam or Devi Mahatmyam, where you can remember the words, right? You know exactly. So you have to learn to, every time the word will look new when you're chanting it. So that's why it's easy to break all this and keep. So when you're chanting it, it's easy to do it. So krita pratikaram aharya vikramam vilakshya daityam bhagavan sahasranihi visargan comma. Next on the ja, there is a ir that will go away. Jagada narayanam adi sukaram. Sorry, somebody question. Asanna shaundiramaPeta sadvasam krita pratikaramharya vikramam vilakshya daityam bhagavan sahasranihi jagada narayanamadi sukaram.
आसन्न शौण्डीरमपेतसाध्वसं कृतप्रतीकारमहार्य विक्रमं विलक्ष्य दैत्यं भगवान् सहस्रणीः जगादनारायणमादिसूकरम्.
आसन्न शौण्डीरमपेतसाध्वसं कृतप्रतीकारमहार्य विक्रमं विलक्ष्य दैत्यं भगवान् सहस्रणीः जगादनारायणमादिसूकरम्.
We'll just switch to the second one. Priya Sriram, you can be a student, and Shanti, you can be a student.
Rajesh, just one question, Rajesh.
Yeah.
So what is Bhagavan is saying on this one?
So so in this, the first part where 10, 11, and 12 that Bhagavan is saying, right?
Yeah.
So that one, he's just saying, yeah, he says, yes, I am a Vanagochara, right? I'm like a beast from the forest, right? But you are also Grama Simhan. Grama Simhan is like
Dog.
a lion of the village. Okay, so lion belongs to the forest, right? But a dog is like a lion for the village. So it behaves like a lion, but it is not a lion, it's a dog, right? So he says, while I am like a beast from the forest, he says, you are a Grama Simhan, you are just an ordinary dog, which I can get rid of very easily, right? So he says, there's no, so you can then, like I said, right? He says that you can keep talking about, how you are great and you can defeat me and all of that stuff, but, person who is liberated doesn't care about those insults. You can keep insulting me, but I'm not going to get carried away with all of those insults. If you want what you want, you come and fight with me. So that's the 3 stanzas which are actually there.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh.
So Brahmo Vacha. So this is where Brahma is telling a little bit of a prayer, small prayer to Bhagavan, and then telling, that the time has come. So please get rid of Hiranyakshasu. So Brahmo Vacha. Esha te deva devanam, so that ma you break it in. Next word starts with a a. Angri moolam upeyusham, vipranam saurabheyinam, comma, bhutanam apyanagasam. Brahmovacha esha te deva devanam, angri moolam upeyusham, vipranam saurabheyinam, bhutanam apyanagasam.
ब्रह्म उवाच एष ते देवदेवानाम् अङ्घ्रिमूलमुपेयुषाम् विप्राणां सौरभेयीणां भूतानामप्यनागसाम्
ब्रह्मोवाच एष ते देवदेवानाम् अङ्घ्रिमूलमुपेयुषां विप्राणां सौरभेयीणां भूतानामभ्यनागसाम्.
Next one is a little bit of a tough stanza. Agas krid bhaya krid dushkrite. So the that is there, I'm going to break it into a it and a a. So krid bhaya krid dushkrite, comma. Next word starts with the a. Asmadradhavarosuraha, Asmadradhavarosuraha, Anveshan na pratirato, comma, Lokanatati kantakaha. Agaskrit bhayakrit dushkrite, Asmadradhavarosuraha, Anveshan na pratirato, Lokanatati kantakaha.
आगस्कृद्भयकृत् तुष्कृत् अस्मद्राधवरोऽसुरः अन्वेषन्न प्रतिरथो लोकानटति कण्टकः
आगस्कृत्पयकृद्दुष्कृत् अस्मद्राधवरोऽसुरः अन्वेषन्न प्रतिरतो लोकानटति कण्टकः.
Mainam mayavinam driptam, comma, Nirankusham asattamam, Akrida balavadeva, comma, Yatashi visham. I'm breaking at that ma. Yatashi visham uttitam. Mainam mayavinam driptam, Nirankusham asattamam, Akrida balavadeva, Yatashi visham uttitam.
मैनं मायाविनं दृप्तं निरङ्कुशमसत्तमम् आक्रीडबालवद्देव यताशीविषमुत्थितम्.
मैनं मायाविनं दृप्तं निरङ्कुशम् असत्तमम् आग्रीडपालवद्देव यतासी विषम् उत्थितम्.
न यावदेश वर्धेत, comma, swam velam prapya dharunah, swam deva mayam asthaya, comma, tavaj jahyagam achyuta. Just break at that ma achyuta. Again, Brahma is saying this is a very powerful, he's not an ordinary person, right? Hiranyaksha is very powerful because Brahma says, I am the one who gave him that boon to become so powerful. So I know how strong he is. So, so don't take it casually. Not that Bhagavan needs to be told, but anyway, Brahma is telling that. Na yavadesha vardheta swam velam prapya darunah swam deva mayamastaya tavajjahyagam
न यावदेशवर्धेत स्वां वेलां प्राप्य दारुणः स्वां देवमायामास्थाय तावज्जह्यघमच्युत.
न यावदेशवर्तेत स्वां वेलां प्राप्य दारुणः स्वां देवमायमस्ताय धावज्जह्यहम् अच्युत.
On the second line, Mayam Asthaya. Second line.
Mayam, okay.
Esha Ghoratama Sandhya, comma, Loka Chambat Kari Prabho, Upasarpati Sarvatman, comma, Suranam Jayamavaha. Esha Ghoratama Sandhya, Loka Chambat Kari Prabho, Upasarpati Sarvatman, Suranam Jayamavaha.
येषा घोरतमा सन्ध्या लोकच्छम्भट्करी प्रभो उपसर्पति सर्वात्मन् सुराणां जयमावह.
एषा घोरतमा सन्ध्या लोकच्छम्भट्करी प्रभो उपसर्पति सर्वात्मन् सूराणां जयमावह.
And the last is Suranam Jayamavaha.
सुराणां जयमावह
Adhunaishobhijin Nama. One word. Adhunaishobhijin Nama, comma. Yogo Mauhurtiko Hyagat. Shivaya Nastvam Suhridam Im, comma. Next word starts with the A. Ashu Nistara Dustaram. Adhunaishobhijin Yogo Mauhurtiko Hyagat Shivaya Nastvam Suhridam Ashu Nistara Dustaram.
अधुनैषोऽभिजिन्नाम योगो मौहूर्तिको ह्यगात् शिवाय नस्त्वं सुहृदाम् आशु निस्तरदुस्तरम्
अधुनैषोऽभिजिन्नाम योगो मौहूर्तिको ह्यगात् शिवाय नस्त्वं सुहृदाम् आशु निस्तरदुस्तरम्.
To hear that word Abhijin Nama, which is coming in, it is Abhijit Nama. Okay, that it becomes a double na there. So that just Abhijit refers to a good portion of the day where it's very auspicious to do everything. So he says right now it's Abhijit, the period is going on, it's very auspicious, so this is the best time to get rid of him. Dishtya Tvam Vihitam Mrityum Im, comma. Next word starts with the A. Ayamasadhitas Swayam Vikram Yainam Mridhe Hatva, comma. Lokan Adhehi Sharmani. Dishtya Tvam Vihitam Mrityum Ayamasadhitas Swayam Vikram Yainam Mridhe Hatva Lokan Adhehi Sharmani.
दिष्ट्या त्वां विहितं मृत्युम् अयमासादितः स्वयं विक्रम्यैनं मृधे हत्वा लोकानाधेहि शर्मणि
दिष्ट्या त्वां विहितं मृत्युम् अयमासादितः स्वयं विक्रम्यैनं मृते हत्वा लोकानादेहि शर्मणि.
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां तृतीयस्कन्धे हिरण्याक्ष. Next word, I'm going to say one right way of saying it. I'll say another way if you're not able to say it that way. Hiranyaksha vadeshtadashodhyayah. Or if you're not able to say that, Hiranyaksha vadhe ashtadashodhyayah.
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां तृतीयस्कन्धे हिरण्याक्षवधेष्टादशोऽध्यायः
इति श्रीमद्भागवतमहापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां तृतीयस्कन्धे हिरण्याक्षवधेष्टादशोऽध्यायः.
Next one. Ata ekonna vimshodhyayah. Maitreyo vacha abadharya virinchasya, comma, nirvya likamritam vachah prahasya prema garbhena, comma, tadapangena sograhit. Maitreyo vacha abadharya virinchasya nirvya likamritam vachah prahasya prema garbhena tadapangena sograhit.
मैत्रेय उवाच अवधार्य विरिञ्चस्य निर्व्यलीकामृतं वचः प्रहस्य प्रेमगर्भेण तदपाङ्गेन सोग्रहीत्.
Shanti.
I'm sorry. अवधार्य विरिञ्चस्य मैत्रेय उवाच अवधार्य विरिञ्चस्य निर्व्यलीकामृतं वचः प्रहस्य प्रेमगर्भेण तदपाङ्गेन सोग्रहीत्.
Tatas sapatnam mukataha, that ish goes away, visarga comma. Charantam akuto bhayam jaganutpatya gadaya, comma. Hanavasuram akshajah. Tatas sapatnam mukataha charantam akuto bhayam jaganutpatya gadaya hanavasuram akshajah.
ततः सपत्नं मुखतः चरन्तमकुतो भयं जघानोत्पत्य गदया अनावसुरमक्षजः
ततः सपत्नं मुखतः सरन्दं कुतो भयं जगानोत्पत्य गदया हनावसुरम् अक्षजः
सा हता तेन गदया विहता भगवत् करात् vigurnitapatatre. That's if you want to break, only way to break, you can't break that. So vigurnitapatadreje, tadadbhutam iva bhavat. I'm just breaking that me into im and e. Tadadbhutam iva bhavat. Sahata tena gadaya vihata bhagavat karat vigurnitapatadreje tadadbhutam iva bhavat.
साहता तेन गदया विहता भगवत्करात् विगूर्णितापतद्रेजे तदद्भुतमिवाभवत्
साहदादेन गदया विहदा भगवत्करात् विगूर्णितापदत्रेजे तदद्भुतम् इवाभवत्.
If you want to break that, it is tat adbhutam iva bhavat. 3 words. Or tadadbhutam iva bhavat. Sa tada labdha tirtopi, na bhabadhe nirayudham, manayan samridhe dharmam, vishwaksenam prakopayan. Sa tada labdha tirtopi, na babadhe nirayudham, manayan samridhe dharmam, vishwaksenam prakopayan.
सतदा लब्धतीर्थोऽपि न बबाधे निरायुधम् मानयन् समृदे धर्मम् विश्वक्सेनम् प्रकोपयन्
ततदा लब्धतीर्थोऽपि न बापते निरायुधम् मानयन् संवृते धर्मम् विश्वक्सेनम् प्रकोपयन्.
Gadayam apavidhayam, hahakare vinirgate, manayamasa tadharmam, sunabham chasmarad vibuhu. Gadayam apavidhayam, hahakare vinirgate, manayamasa tadharmam, sunabham chasmarad vibuhu.
गदायामपविद्धायाम् हाहाकारे विनिर्गते मानयामास तद्धर्मम् सुनाभम् चास्मरत् विभुः
गदायां पवित्तायां हाहाकारे विनिर्गते मानयामास तद्धर्मं सुनाभं सास्मरत् विभुः.
Tam vyagra chakram diti putradhamena, swa parshada mukyena vishajjamanam, chitra vacho tadvidham, one word, vacho tadvidham khecharanam, tatra smasan swasti temum jahiti, shorty. Tam vyagra chakram diti putradhamena, स्वपार्षदमुख्येन विषज्यमानं चित्रावाचो तद्विधां खेचराणां तत्रास्मासन् स्वस्ति तेमुं जहीति.
Rajesh, is it tatra or tatra?
In the second line after the comma?
No, the last line.
Yeah, tatrasmasan.
என்னோட புக்ல தத்ர மாத்திரம் தான் இருக்கு இல்லை
Tatrasmasan இருக்கா?
தத்ரஸ்மாசன்
அப்படிதான் இருக்கு, எந்தலயும் அப்படிதான் இருக்கு சுவாமி.
உமா உங்களோட yours is I don't know which Uma what
தத்ராஸ்மாசன் இருக்கு தமிழ்ல.
I'm using the Sanskrit documents.
Yeah. Uma is also using Sanskrit, but she has the next version to mine. Even that also has tatra, right? Uma, in yours also?
Yeah, tatras.
Okay. So Jayeshi, then can you just correct it to tatrasmasan?
Okay, will do. Thanks.
तं व्यग्रचक्रं दितिपुत्राधमेन स्वपर्शादमुख्येन विषज्जमानं चित्रावाचोद्विधां खेचराणां तत्रास्मासन् स्वस्ति ते मुञ्जहीति.
On the first line after the comma, Swa Parshada Mukhena.
स्वपार्षदमुख्येन
संव्यग्रचक्रं दिदिपुत्रादमेन स्वपार्षदमुख्येन विषज्जमानं चित्रावाचोदत्वितां केचराणां तत्रास्मासन् स्वस्ति देमुं जहीति.
Satam Nishamyata Ratangam Agrato. I'm just breaking that ma. Ratangam Agrato, comma. Vyavastitam Padma Palasha Lochanam. Bilokya Chamarsha Pariplutendriyo, comma. Rusha Swa Dantachadam. I'm just breaking at that ma. Dantachadam Adashachwasan. Satam Nishamyataratangamagраto Vyavastitam Padmapalasha Lochanam Bilokya Chamarsha Pariplutendriyo Rusha Swadantachadamada Shachwasan.
सतं निशाम्यात्तरथाङ्गमग्रतो व्यवस्थितं पद्मपलाशलोचनं विलोक्य चामर्षपरिप्लुतेन्द्रियो वृषास्वदन्तच्छदमादशश्वसम्.
Shwasan Adashachwasan.
तदं निशाम्यात्तरथाङ्गमग्रतो व्यवस्थितं पद्मपलासलोचनं विलोक्य सामर्षपरिप्लुतेन्द्रियो वृषास्वदत्तच्छदम्
And the word is the Rusha Swa Dantachadam. In sound. Dantachadam.
दुःशास्वदन्तच्छदम् आदशश्वसन्. Okay. ஆதஸ்வசன்.
அந்த லாஸ்ட் லைன், அந்த லாஸ்ட் வேர்ட மாத்திரம் இன்னொரு தடவை சொல்லுங்களேன்.
அதான் the Rusha Swa Dantachadam. Chadam im. I'm breaking that ma. Dantachadam.
Okay.
Adashachwasan.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry. Got it. Karala damstrash chakshurbhyam, comma, sanchakshano dahanniva abhiplutya swagadaya, comma, hatosityahanadharim. That's a long word. Hatosityahanadharim. Karala damstrash chakshurbhyam sanchakshano dahanniva abhiplutya swagadaya hatosityahanadharim.
करालदंश्चक्षुर्भ्यां संचक्षाणो दहन्निव अभिप्लुत्य स्वगदया हतोऽसीत्याहनद्धरिम्.
करालदंश्चक्षुर्भ्यां संचक्षाणो दहन्निव अभिप्लुत्य स्वगदया हतोऽसीत्याहनद्धरिम्. Hanadharim.
Okay, we'll switch here. Priya Srikumar, you can be a student, and Srividya Sriram, you can join us as a student.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. We'll go to like about 324, and then I'll see the meaning for the last 6 minutes. Pada savyena tam sadho, comma, Bhagavan yajna sukaraha leelaya mishatash shatroho, comma, praharat vata ramhasam. Pada savyena tam sadho Bhagavan yajna sukaraha leelaya mishatash shatroho praharat vata ramhasam.
तदा सव्येन तां साधो भगवान् यज्ञसूकरः लीलयामिषतः शत्रोः प्राहरद्वातरंहसम्.
तदा स्वयेन तां साधो भगवान् यज्ञसूकरः लीलयामिषदशत्रोः प्राहरत्वातरं हसम्
आह चायुधम् आदत्स्व, breaking that mark, comma, घटस्व त्वं जिगीषसि इत्युक्तस् स तदा भूयः, that is goes away, visarga comma भूयः ताडयन् व्यनदत् भृशम्. आह चायुधमाधत्स्व घटस्व त्वं जिगीषसि इत्युक्तः स तदा भूयः ताडयन् व्यनदत् भृशम्.
आह चायुधमाधत्स्व खडस्व त्वं जिहीषसि इत्युक्तः स तदा भूयः ताडयन् व्यनदद्भृशम्.
आह चायुधम् आदत्स्व गडस्व त्वं जिगीषसि इत्युक्तः स तथा भूयः ताडयन् व्यनदद्भृशम्.
तां स आपततीं वीक्ष्य, भगवान् समवस्थितः जग्राह लीलया प्राप्तां, गरुत्मानिव पन्नगीम्. तां स आपततीं वीक्ष्य भगवान् समवस्थितः जग्राह लीलया प्राप्तां गरुत्मानिव पन्नगीम्.
तां स आपततीं वीक्ष्य भगवान् समवस्थितः जग्राह लीलया प्राप्तां गरुत्मानिव पन्नगीम्.
तां स आपततीं वीक्ष्य भगवान् समवस्थितः जग्राह लीलया प्राप्तां गरुत्मानिव पन्नगीम्.
स्वपौरुषे प्रतिहते, हतमानो महासुरः नैच्छद् गदां दीयमानां, हरिणा विगतप्रभः. स्वपौरुषे प्रतिहते हतमानो महासुरः नैच्छद् गदां दीयमानां हरिणा विगतप्रभः.
स्वपौरुषे प्रतिहते हतमानो महासुरः नैच्छद्गदां दीयमानां हरिणा विगतप्रभः.
स्वपौरुषे प्रतिहते हतमानो महासुरः नैच्छद्गदां दीयमानां हरिणा विगतप्रभः.
जग्राह त्रिशिखं शूलं, ज्वलन लोलुपं यज्ञाय धृतरूपाय, विप्रायाभिचरन् यथा. जग्राह त्रिशिखं शूलं ज्वलनलोलुपं यज्ञाय धृतरूपाय विप्रायाभिचरन् यथा.
जग्राह त्रिशिखं शूलं ज्वलनलोलुपं यज्ञाय धृतरूपाय विप्रायाभिचरन् यथा.
जग्राह त्रिशिखं शूलं ज्वलनलोलुपं यज्ञाय धृतरूपाय विप्रायाभिचरन् यथा.
तदोजसा दैत्य महाभटार्पितं, चकासदन्तः ख उदीर्न धीदिति चक्रेण चिच्छेद निशात नेमिना, हरिर्यथा तार्क्ष्य पतत्रम् उज्झितम्. Just breaking at that ma. तदोजसा दैत्य महाभटार्पितं चकासदन्तः ख उदीर्न दीधिति चक्रेण चिच्छेद निशातनेमिना हरिर्यथा तार्क्ष्यपतत्रमुज्झितम्.
तदोजसा दैत्यमहाफडार्पितं चकासदन्तः उदीर्न दीधिति चक्रेण चिच्छेद निशातनेमिना हरिर्यथा तार्क्ष्यपतत्रमुज्झितम्.
ततोजसा दैत्यमहाभटार्पितं चकासदन्तः उदीर्न दीधिति चक्रेण चिच्छेद निशाद नेमिना हरिर्यथा दार्क्ष्यपतत्रमुज्झितम्.
तार्क्ष्य, referring to Garuda there, तार्क्ष्य पतत्रमुज्झितम्.
पद तत्र मुच्चितम्
वृक्ने स्वशूले बहुधारिणा हरेः प्रत्येत्य विस्तीर्णमुरो विभूतिमत् प्रवृद्धरोषस् स कठोरमुष्टिना नदन् प्रहृत्यान्तरधीयतासुरः. One long word, cannot break that word. वृक्ने स्वशूले बहुधारिणा हरेः प्रत्येत्य विस्तीर्णमुरो विभूतिमत् प्रवृद्धरोषः स कठोरमुष्टिना नदन् प्रहृत्यान्तरधीयतासुरः.
वृक्ने स्वशूले बहुधारिणा हरेः प्रत्येत्य विस्तीर्णमुरो विभूतिमत् प्रवृद्धरोषः स कठोरमुष्टिना नदन् प्रहृत्यान्तरधीयतासुरः.
वृग्ने स्वशूले बहुधारिणा हरेः प्रत्येत्य विस्तीर्णमुरो विभूतिमत् प्रवृद्धरोषः सकठोरमुष्टिना न तत्प्रहृत्यान्तरधीयदासुरः.
And the word you cannot break it, so you have to say that anyway continuously. Tenetam ahataha. So that visarga you have to say ahataha. Kshattaha. Put a visarga comma. Next on that bha, there is a ir that will go away. Bhagavan adi sukaraha. Nakampata manak kwapi, comma. Sraja hata iba dvipaha. Tenetam ahataha kshattaha. Bhagavanadisukaraha Nakampata manakwapi srajahata iva dvipaha.
तेनेत्रमाहतः क्षत्तः भगवानादिसूकरः नाकम्पदमनाक्वापि स्रजाहत इव द्विपः.
तेनेतम् आहतः क्षत्तः भगवानादिशूकरः नाकम्पत मनाक्वापि स्रजाहत इव द्विपः.
अथोरुधा सृजन् मायां योग मायेश्वरे हरौ यां विलोक्य प्रजास्त्रस्ताः. Put a visarga comma, add it the trastaha comma. Meniresyopa samyamam. It's one long word. Meniresyopa samyamam. Athorudha srijanmayam yoga maheshware harau yam vilokya prajastrastaha meniresyopa samyamam.
अथोरुधा सृजन्मायां योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यां विलोक्य प्रजास्त्रस्ताः मेनिरेस्योपसंयमम्.
अथोरुधा सृजन्मायां योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यां विलोक्य प्रजास्तस्त्राः मेनिरे स्वयोपसंयमम्.
So under the second line, prajas is prajas trastaha. Okay. Meniresyopa samyamam. One word.
Okay. Yam vilokya prajastrastaha meniresyopasamyamam.
Pravabur vayavash chandaha. That is goes away. Visarga comma. Tamaf Pamsavamairayan Digbyo Nipetur Gravanaha, Kshepanaif Prahita Iva. Prabhavurvayavaschandaha Tamaf Pamsavamairayan Digbyo Nipetur Gravanaha, Kshepanaif Prahita Iva.
प्रभुर्वायवश्चण्डाः तमः पांसवमैरयन् दिग्भ्यो निपेतुर्ग्रावाणः क्षेपणैः प्रहिता इव.
प्रभुर्व्यायवश्चण्डाः तमपांसवमैरयन् दिग्भ्यो निपेतुर्रावाणः क्षेपणैः प्रहिता इव
ध्याur nashta bha ganabraughaiः comma sa vidyut stanayit nubihi varshadbih puya keshasrig and then put a plus vin mutrasthini chasakrite. Okay, so the second line is continuous. The halfway point is srig, that ik, but becomes the ig there, but at the srig point. ध्याurnashta bhagana praugaihi savidyutstanayit nubihi varshadbih puya kesha srigvin mutrastini chasakrite.
द्यौर्नष्टभगणा प्रौखैः सविद्युत्स्तनयित्नुभिः वर्षद्भिः पूयकेशाश्रद्भिन्मूत्रास्थीनि चासकृत
द्यौर्नष्टभगणारौगैः सविद्युत्स्तनयित्युनुभिः
वर्षद्भिः
वर्षद्भिः भूय केशाश्रग्विन्मूत्रास्तिनि चासकृत.
Correct, you got it. But bin
Break.
and the ig kapram, that's a halfway point, right? Puya keshasrag bin mutrastini chasakrite.
भूय केशाश्रग्विन्मूत्रास्तिनि चासकृत.
And then the first word braugaihi gana, second bha in Sanskrit, gana braugaihi.
गणा भ्रौगैहि.
Yeah.
ரெண்டுமே fourth ga gha.
Yeah, gha. Yeah, gha.
Okay.
Yeah, Sanskrit it's a second, but yeah, second bha,
Yeah,
second ga, but in
second
Tamil it will be 4-4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rajesh, and the ib should join with ganap raugaihi or ganap brauhihi.
I don't know ghana bhrauge. I don't know if it's two different words or one word on the particular. But it's better. But I'm saying it together anyways. I'm not separating those two words. That's right.
Okay.
So I'm just saying bhagana bhraugehi.
Thank you.
Girayah pratyadrishyanta, comma nanayudha mucho nagha dig vasaso yatu dhanyah, comma tulinyo mukta murdhajaha. Girayah pratyadrishyanta nanayudha mucho nagha digvasaso yatu dhanyah tulinyo mukta murdhajaha.
गिरयः प्रत्यदृश्यन्त नानायुधमुजो नख दिग्वाससो यादु धान्यः शूलिन्यो मुक्तमूर्धजाः.
गिरय प्रत्यदृश्यन्त नानायुधमुचो नग दिग्वाससो यातु धान्यः शूलिन्यो मुक्तमूर्धजाः.
बहुभिर् यक्ष रक्षोभिः, comma पत्यश्व रथ कुञ्जरैः आततायिभिर् उत्सृष्टाः. The ru you can break it. आततायिभिर् उत्सृष्टाः. Add a visarga, comma हिंस्रा वाचोति वैशसाः. बहुभिर्यक्षरक्षोभिः पत्यश्वरतकुञ्जरैः आततायिभिरुत्सृष्टाः हिंस्रावाचोति वैशसाः.
बहुभिर्यक्षरक्षोभिः पत्यश्वरथकुञ्जरैः आततायिभिरुत्सृष्टाः हिंस्रावाचोदिवैश्यसाः.
बहुभिर्यक्षरक्षोभिः पत्यश्वरथकुञ्जरैः आततायिभिर् उत्सृष्टाः
And the word vachoti vaishasaha.
वाचोदिवैशसाः.
Pradushkritanam mayanam im, comma next word starts with the a आसुरीणां विनाशयते सुदर्शनास्त्रं भगवान् प्रायुङ्क्त दयितं त्रिपात् प्रादुष्कृतानां मायानाम् आसुरीणां विनाशयते सुदर्शनास्त्रं भगवान् प्रायुङ्क्त दयितं त्रिपात्.
Rajeshi, first line end Vinashayad or Vinashayan?
Vinashayat, it only I have there.
I have Vinashayan.
உங்களுக்கு என்ன இருக்கு தமிழ்ல?
தமிழ்ல யத்து தான் இருக்கு.
It only, right? Uma, you also have it only, right?
Yeah, Vinashayat.
Okay.
दुष्कृतानां मायानाम् आसुरीणां विनाशयत सुदर्शनास्त्रं भगवान् प्रायुङ्क्त दयितं त्रिपात्.
दुष्कृतानां मायानाम् आसुरीणां विनाशयत् सुदर्शनास्त्रं भगवान् प्रायुङ्क्त दयितं त्रिपात्.
तदा दितेस् समभवत् सहसा हृदि वेपतुः स्मरन्त्या भर्तुरादेशं स्तनाच्छासृक् प्रसुश्रुवे. तदाधिते समभवत् सहसा हृदि वेपतुः स्मरन्त्या भर्तुरादेशं स्तनाच्छासृक् प्रसुश्रुवे.
तदादिते समभवत् सहसा हृदि वेपतुः स्मरन्त्या भर्तुरादेशं स्तनाच्छासृक् प्रसुश्रुवे.
तदादिते समभवत् सहसा हृदि वेपतुः स्मरन्त्या भर्तुरादेशं स्तनाच्छासृक् प्रसुश्रुवे.
Yeah, and the second line, second word, if you can, you said Bhartur Adesham. If you can say it's Bhartur Adesham. So either you say it completely Bhartur Adesham as one word or Bhartur Adesham.
Bhartur Adesham or Bhartur Adesham. Okay.
Do one more. Vinashtasu Swamayasu, Bhuyas Chabrajya Keshavam. Rushopa Guhamanomum, one word. Rushopa Guhamanomum, Dadrishe Vastitam Bahihi. Vinashtasu Somayasu Bhuyascha Brajya Keshavam Rushopa Guhamanomum Dadrishe Vastitam Bahihi.
विनष्टासु स्वमायासु भूयश्चाव्रज्य केशवं रुषोपगूहमानोमुं ददृशे वस्थितं बहिः.
विनष्टासु स्वमायासु भूयश्चाव्रज्य केशवं रुषोपगूहमानोमुं ददृशे वस्थितं बहिः.
All right, we'll stop here in the thing and then we'll just do the meaning. So this the battle goes on till 30, stanza 30, right? So I don't know if we'll be able to cover everything, but anyway. So like we ended the previous one with Brahma telling, that Abhijit, the good time is right now. So, so Narayana, don't waste, right? Get going on it. So then the battle is beginning, right? So, okay. And then they both start fighting and it talks about how, Hiranyaksha being very powerful, he's coming and taking his mace, he's knocking the weapon, out of Bhagavan's hand. And then he's trying to come and chase and run and try to fight with him. So at that time, when the what is in his hand falls and everybody, all the gods, the demigods are getting very worried, saying that, like this guy is a very powerful person, right? So, hope everything works out fine and all of that. And then at one point, Bhagavan then, takes a Sudarshanam in his hand. And, then he looks at Hiranyaksha who's standing, who's one of the, like the close confidants, right? Because Jaya, Vijaya are Dwarapalakas. And so they're one of the greatest of devotees, but that person is now standing in front of Bhagavan trying to fight him, right? Trying to get rid of him, right? So it's one of those unique situations, right? So he's looking at him and saying, unfortunately, he has taken this birth because of which he's not trying to fight with me instead of being devoted to me all the time, and he has to fight. Now, in this, one nice stanza comes in stanza 7. Yeah. So I was going to point it when we were doing it, but I forgot. It says, Vyavasthitam Padma Palasha Lochanam. So this Hiranyaksha is standing and he has that Varaha incarnation standing in front of him. So he talks about how this is lotus-eyed Bhagavan is standing in front of him. Right now, when Bhagavan is standing in front of a devotee, then everybody faces that sense of bliss and excitement and so much devotion that they don't know what to do, right? We're going to see in Dhruva Charitram and all of those things, right? The Prahlada, Chaitanya, everything, there's so much bliss, so much positive energy. In Hiranyaksha's case, you take the same thing and put a negative sign in front of it, right? That's all it is. He's having that same passion, but the same passion is converted as anger, right? So he's looking at the Swayam Bhagavan standing and he's having the same emotion, like we said, Samrambha Yogena, that means that it's the same amount of energy and passion, except that it is focused as anger instead of devotion, right? You just change the sign in math, right? From plus to minus. So Hiranyaksha is getting very agitated looking at this, right? He says, I have to get rid of you, right? And then, there's no way I'm going to let you leave. So he has so much anger towards it. And then, the battle is actually fighting, and then he tries to hit everything and all that. Then his gada gets thrown away. Then this is Trishulam will come at one point where he throws his trident at Bhagavan, and then that also gets disposed of. Then he does all this Maya that he does, right? Where, all this, it gets very dark everywhere and things are flying all over the place. Lots of noises are coming. And all of those things are again, because at the end of the day, in one place, it talks about you who is the, who owns all of Maya. There's no way Hiranyaksha's Maya is going to work with you. So you discard, Bhagavan discards all of that. And finally, when the time comes, then the final blow is going to happen. So here where in Bhagavad, like if you remember in Narayanam, I made you all change it from, I have my book in front of me, Narayanam. It says Swapadangushtena. I change it to Karagrena Swena, right? So in Bhagavatam, because that's what it says in Bhagavatam in the first. It says, you, O Lord, you take your fist, right? And then you take your fist. At the end of the day, it's a boar, right? So the boar, you can say it is a leg or a fist, because later on in the same chapter, Brahma is going to say with your front foot, right? But here in the first it says you take your hand, which is the front of the boar's foot, and then you then hit at the root of his ear, right? When you hit at the root of the ear, at that time, then Hiranyaksha then completely gets destroyed. He's not able to move. So all these illusions, everything he does, the battle goes on, and finally with the front hand or the front of your foot, however you want to take it, it says front of the hand. With your hand, you then hit him at the base of his ear. And when you do that, then Hiranyaksha completely then falls down and then he actually dies. So at that time, Brahma comes there and Brahma says, it is such a wonder that, Hiranyaksha is so blessed, because although he got cursed, Jaya Vijaya got cursed, at the end of the day, he came face to face with Varaha. How many people get that opportunity, right? Only Hiranyaksha got that opportunity, right? And Brahma saw that. Other than that, nobody else got that opportunity. He says, Hiranyaksha, you're so blessed because you came face to face with Varaha and then you then died at the hands of Varaha. So definitely, and Brahma then recounts that incident saying that, you are blessed because you are going to take all these different births and eventually, get liberated at the hands of the Bhagavan. So he says, you are Brahma. That's where Brahma then says you're blessed because the front foot of Bhagavan then touch. The foot which everybody seeks after, that foot came to you, right? And you then came in search of Bhagavan, and Bhagavan also came in search of you, and then he got rid of you. So Hiranyaksha, you're really very blessed, right? That's a small thing that Brahma says, and that goes up to 30, where the battle goes on for a few stanzas, and finally the Brahmo Vacha comes and ends it. And then there's a final summary, which I will tell in the next class, because it talks about the greatness of Varaha Avataram and the benefits of chanting Varaha Avataram. That is a summary of this chapter. And then, so with that, Varaha Avataram will come to end in the next class. And then we'll start the whole Kapilopakyanam, which goes very long because there's a lot of conversations that happen between Kapila and Devahuti, which we'll see later. Okay. Shri Hare Namaha, Shri Hare Namaha, Shri Hare Namaha, Gopika Jeevana Smaranam Govinda Govinda, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Rajesh.
Rajesh.
Happy
Thank
Father's Day.
you, Rajesh.
Thank you, everyone.
Rajesh.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.